Huh? I don't know. I'm just asking you, the ones who are married. Was it not more, oh, that man will make me happy, or that woman will make me happy? Having children will make me happy? Being part of a group that marries will make me happy? Maybe not so consciously, but you know, when somebody's, you're 40 or 50, they're asking you, who's your husband? And you go, no, I don't have one. It's like, how do you feel? You know, even today. Yeah? I'm not married. What's the next question? Why not? Isn't it? People are so personal that they go, why not? Thanks. Because, well, you're going to say, no, I don't want to hurt anybody because I have a terrible character. No, we would explain I didn't find anybody that makes me happy. Yeah. We wouldn't explain I couldn't find anybody that I can make happy because they're also demanding and I don't have the skills to make them happy. So I thought, oh, better keep my fingers off. Nor acts of frightful risk. Anyway, we don't have to go so much into that because I think you're already married and so it's like, it's too late. Nor acts of frightful risk, nor loss and ruin of both goods and wealth, and for all pleasures and the perfect bliss, the utmost penetrating peace. It's about, now it's, I think about the longing, you know, the hardships that you go through, because you will probably marry somebody that you've never seen with this system. You will see that person for the first time when you get married, so it's not relevant anymore. Nobody gets married like this. Do they? In India, yes. Here, in the Orthodox, maybe.
No, they see each other.
Maybe yes.
They see, but not from.
Yeah, at least once. Okay. So then here is the. I think what he's talking about now is the anticipation. You know, you maybe you're young, you have sexual energy, you want to live it, and then you start to anticipate how that will be, the first kiss and this and that. You can't touch it. Yeah, but you. I don't know. Can we relate to that? Maybe, you know, it's your partner, you're not married, you're young, and he comes to visit your parents, you're in your parents' house, but you don't dare to then, you know, you're not allowed to sleep in the same room or something like that because of your parents. It's very old-fashioned, all this. So maybe, you know, not think. But the longing that this person belongs to me, that we can relate to. Of what in truth is nothing but a heap, now it's is nothing but a heap of bones, devoid of self, without its own existence. It is the only object of is this the only object of desire and lust, sooner pass beyond all suffering and grief. Yeah, this is totally different. Yeah, it's funny. I engage in fearful deeds for them and will even consume my wealth. Yeah, sometimes, you know, for the dowry, you have to pay. Actually, it's the other way around, isn't it? It's the women in India, I think, you have to pay. The parents have to give so many cows and this and that for the husband. But these very bodies of theirs that I greatly enjoy in sexual embrace. Oh, it's not as bad. Here it says, you know, I lost enjoy both goods and wealth. Oh no, it's 42, that's why. Are nothing other than skeletons. So here it says a heap of bones. Skeleton sounds nicer because its skeleton is still together. A heap of bones. Yeah, have you ever seen a skeleton? You need wires to hold the things together, otherwise just a heap of bones. Devoid of selves, they are not autonomous and are identityless, rather than beings of desires and completely obsessed. Why do I not go to the state beyond sorrow instead? You know, it's really these fantasies about sexual fantasies. The women forcing them to cover themselves, that wakes up sexual fantasy. Women totally uncovered with just a few strings here, that doesn't really kind of create these fantasies. It might arouse sexual desire, but not fantasies, how it will be. Like Indians can get totally excited about seeing a foot or a hand. This is why in Indian movies, they never kiss. You only see parts of bodies. And it's so sexy. Sex appeal is much stronger when you don't see the whole body. Interesting. And then the kind of covering up the whole thing is totally not useful. Because look at these beautiful Arab women, how they, put their scarves and then the eyes and this. They may be much more beautiful than if they are with the face mask. Yeah. I saw a few people, and probably they thought of me as well, and have big noses, but it's covered, much more beautiful with the mask than without the mask. So I even thought, oh, wow, that I didn't see it because. Okay, I think we can continue with this. Then, and oh, what pains you went through just to draw the veil and lift the face that modestly looked down. That face which looked upon or not was always carefully concealed. So this is the first time, a wedding, then you start to lift the veil. And before you get there, how many of you have organized weddings or have been in weddings? A lot of preparation, isn't it? For what? For just, that face for which you languish so, well, here it is, now nakedly exposed. The crows have done their work for you to see. What's this? You run away so soon. So, kind of that face also at one point it will die, and you worked for it to have it for so hard. But then when it is in the charnel ground and the birds come and kind of, the first thing they pick out is eyes, the birds. So then, would you protect? I think it's a little bit about protecting here. Like you would, you don't want other men to see your wife, or at least not with a lustful kind of way, or your man, isn't it? How do you react when you are somewhere in a group of people and, again, if you're my age, it doesn't matter so much anymore, I think. But if somebody is really flirting with your partner,
not so nice.
Not so nice, exactly. Not so nice. So you want to protect for others from seeing your nice partner. And then it goes, but then when the crows come to pick out the eyes, do you still want to protect? Right, that's what it is. It's quite gross, isn't it, Lami? So it's like, I'm sorry. Here, so that's next verse, yeah? That body that you guarded jealously and shielded from the eyes of other men, what miser that you are, you don't protect it now, that it's the food of graveyard birds. Look, this mass of human flesh, soon to be the fare of carrion beasts, you deck with flowers, sandalwood and jewels, and yet it is the provender of others. How does it here? Since vultures and others are eating this pile of meat that I behold, why did I offer flowers, gold, sandalwood and ornaments, to that which is now the food of others? We wouldn't even think like this when they're dead. So forget about thinking like this when they're still alive. We think it's really worthwhile to give them nice dress, like a wife buying the shirts for her husband that she likes because he has no taste. The wife buying the shoes or something like that, to decorate that man. But then when another woman looks, it's no. Yeah? You want your partner to be attractive, but others shouldn't look at him or flirt with him. That's, it shows us a little bit how controversial we are. Look again, these heap of bones, inert and dead. Why? What are you so scared of? Why did you not fear them when they walked around and moved with ease like deadly remnants? If I'm frightened by the skeletons I see, we're usually frightened by dead bodies, isn't it? I don't know why, because they don't come do anything to us anymore. The lamas always say, you should be frightened of the living, they can hurt you, not of the dead. Even though they do not move, why I'm not frightened by walking corpses? Because, we're still walking, but at one point we're walking corpses which are moved around by a few impulses, but this could also be zombies. So, but when they are moved by impulses, they're not living anymore, because I think I have a commentary where it says about zombies. You loved them once when clothed and draped they were, well now they're naked. Why do you not want them? You say your lust is no more there, but why did you embrace them, all bedecked and covered? So this is, you wouldn't... I mean, again, there could be exceptions that somebody who really is, loves and the partner dies, that you throw yourself on the body. That is possible, but I don't think it's very common. Yeah. Or you think, oh, the body is not decaying yet, I can have lust times 6. Yeah. Definitely not like this, right? So, he says, why do you do it when they are, when they are alive? It's difficult for us to understand how we can have these kind of gross thoughts, isn't it? Why does he know how one could have this kind of sexual desire? Oh, now it's about the insides of the body. From food, a single source, come equally their bodies fills the honey nectar of their mouths, like the saliva when we kiss. I mean, saliva mixes. We're not going, boo, yeah? And so why are you delighted by saliva and yet revolted by their excrement? Right? He is asking very good questions, Or, for example, you're not revolted too much by your own caca. You have diarrhea, caca in your pants, it's okay, you need to wash and all this, you do it. Your child also, no problem. A stranger? Unless you're a nurse and you're working in all people's home. Yeah? It's caca, it's caca. Where's the difference?
Depends what you ate before.
Yeah, also what you ate, but even if it's very good smelling caca or not strong smelling caca, it's still, if it's from a stranger, you treat it differently than your own or the caca of your children, isn't it? So it's not logic the way we behave. Basically, that's what he's telling us. Can we see that? And can we see that you need to be attached to somebody to be able to enjoy their saliva? Otherwise it becomes rape, abuse, sexual abuse. The same act can be the highest pleasure or sexual abuse. That's why it's not logic. That's why it's only in our mind. It's the mind who decides this one is attractive and this one. We have all the same bodies, 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, then men have their penis, women have their vagina. How you make such a huge difference. And then later on, he says, oh no, but it's not the body that I'm attracted to, it's the mind. Then we see that. Kind of argument. Next one, and they say, the body is so soft and so nice to touch. Taking no delight in pillows, soft though they may be to touch and stroke, you claim the human form emits no evil stench. You don't know what is clean, befooled by lust. If we would not clean our bodies, if we would not wash them, if we would not, shower and brush our teeth and cut our nails, cut our hair beard and all this, we would look horrible. But we have this illusion that the body is something clean and something nice and something good to be on. But also if you say, it's the soft touch, well, pillows are also soft. So why not find delight in them? Does it make sense to you, or do you think it's totally off the wall? Lustful ones, befuddled by desire. He's talking to himself here, don't forget. Because you cannot copulate with them like the pillows. You angrily find fault with pillows, even though they're smooth and soft to touch. You wouldn't fall in love with the pillow, so probably now. And if you have no love for filth, how can you cuddle on your lap a cage of bones tied fast with sinews, plastered over with the mud of flesh? There's also in one teaching, someone said, if you take, the body apart like this, of course you put here the skin and then you put the bones. There's also meditation, the 32 parts. You put the hair, you put the blood, you put this. None of this has any attraction, even if it's from your loved one. Your loved one, a finger is cut by accident, you would not want to keep it because it's part of you. It's so beloved, part You go, yeah. So then somebody said, I think also with the teachings of the Dalai Lama, but it's covered by skin. That what make it so attractive. So His Holiness made this Dalai Lama made this he said, okay, the skin. So the attractiveness is in the skin. Yeah. So if you see the skin alone, also even that is not attractive. So basically, it goes all about how we fantasize and how we live in this illusion that the body is attractive. The human body is a very good tool to meditate, to develop your mind, because you can sit, and even if you do tantric practices, it's very good also because you have the channels and the drops in a human body. And that's what it's for, to attain enlightenment, precious human dream. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? The reason is you're full of filth yourself. and wallow in it constantly. It is indeed just dirt that you desire, and therefore long for other sacks or bags of filth. So this is why at lunchtime I said to Luna, is like, if you know these verses, especially those ones, if you already hate yourself and you hate your body, there's no way that this is going to be helpful. So you have to be very careful, you know, by whom. This is why also I'm happy that this other man left, because he's definitely not ready to hear it. Maybe at one point he will be happy, he'll be ready to hear it. Are you ready to hear that? Do you still appreciate your body but without attachment? And the good thing I have a human body, I can sit here and listen to these terrible things and sit and meditate and develop on the past. It's about attachment, it's about fantasizing, it's about illusion, projection. Do you understand that? How unrational we are when we are attached to somebody else or to our own body. I know it's not you, but there are, you know, these beauty competitions. I mean, again, you know what, maybe he talks about whole society, not just you personally. But if you look how important beauty is in this society that we are in the West. I mean, how many divorces because the man or the woman loses their attractiveness? All of a sudden it becomes more clearer, like the body smell, or, you know, then gets bigger, fatter, this and that. And then they find a younger partner, be it the man or the woman. And if you look at them, they look very similar to the wife or the man, how they looked 20 years ago or 40 years ago. Have you never seen that?
Yes.
It's quite common.
And then you have all the Botox and the cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
Very popular, even in the young age.
Exactly. You know, this whole thing about this beauty ideal, you can Botox whatever you want, you will never be happy. The moment you start, actually people who started, they say, I am addicted to this. Yeah. So all these methods that you have, of course if you had a very bad accident and your face is, you know, then to have plastic surgery is very good. Yeah, this is fantastic. But look how it is. Then the plastic surgeons who could do like accident victims, they go into beauty operations. You earn much more there than you earn with like accident people. Anyway. So we see how even now today, this is 8th century, even now today, and even more maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
today's worse.
Even more maybe it has become a fascination with, if I had a beautiful body, I'd be ever happy. Yeah. Photoshop. I shouldn't laugh because I think it's awful. I had the computer of somebody and I used her computer to Zoom and I said, wow, I don't have any wrinkles. What's going on? She said, yeah, Photoshop. You can apparently do, I don't know with what, like filters in your Zoom so that all the wrinkles are gone. She was honest enough to say, yes, it's a Photoshop kind of whatever filter. I said, oof, I liked myself like that. I looked 20 years younger. Really did. That was so funny. Now, but it's the skin and flesh I love to touch and look upon. Then why do you not wish for flesh alone, inanimate and its natural state? This is still with the pillow, yeah, what he says, you know, it fulfills, and the pillow is clean. That's basically what he says. Why don't you prefer a pillow which is clean, you can wash, and it smells good, to a human body which, no matter how much you wash it, it will always smell bad? So then the argument that goes against is, yeah, but I like it's the skin and flesh I love to touch and look upon. Then say, why don't you take a piece of flesh? Why is that not enough? Yeah. Then he says, no, but it's not the flesh, it's the mind, it's the soul, it's, whatever. I'm 55 here. Furthermore, any mind that I may desire is unable to be touched or behold. Okay, so maybe I read mine because it's better. The mind of the beloved you so much desire eludes your touch. So why are you so fascinated by touch? If you like the mind, why do you need to touch the body? This mind you cannot see. Nothing that the sense perceives is mind. So why indulge in pointless copulation if you say, oh no, I'm not attached to the body, I'm attached to the mind, so I'm probably attached to both of it. To fail to understand the unclean nature of another's flesh is not perhaps so strange, but not to see the filthy nature of oneself is very strange indeed. Because we are fascinated with our own body also. But it's not for you to hate your body, okay? You think, it's great, I have a healthy body, but also it will be a heap of bones, it will stink, it already stinks now. I mean, yeah, exactly. And then we're embarrassed, you know. When we see the nature, there are people with very strong body smell, and they can nothing do against it because it's so strong. And then we kind of shun them in society. We say they're dirty. No, they're not, because I had a customer like this who was renting a room in the guest house I had. I tell you, I used to do his laundry. His room smelled so bad, I would put a handkerchief and spray a thing, and his socks, because his sweat was so strong that the color had gone. Poor guy, really, I mean, but it was so strong. Of course, that's very rare, but it does exist. So whenever somebody smells, and you go, try to think, they don't like it either. They also suffer from it. So we don't have to, oh no, no perfume works anymore, or deodorant doesn't work, and this and that, or even operations, sometimes people kind of have to get rid of their glands. Or then when we have a stain here because it's wet, gosh, it's a big disaster, isn't it? It's the body showing its nature, and we're trying to hide it. So, we can think like that, and then we think, yeah, okay, I sweat, doesn't matter, I go into society, but look what they are going to do. They're not going to be happy. Your partner is not going to be happy when you come with big stains under your, when it's all wet. But me, it happens because it's dark. I carry the backpack, and in Tel Aviv it's humid and this and that. I can put as much deodorant as I want. I get wet. And even I kind of sit like this. Because it's such a thing in society, not to appear clean, with a body that is by nature unclean and produces these things. It's not something that comes from outside, it's the body that produces this. And you're alone in the forest, who cares how you smell, It's okay. You get used to it, you get used to your own smell, and you see the filth of your own body. In Copan, 20, 30 years ago, they have to, I don't know how it is now, they have to pump up the water. So the November course, when there's 200 people, the pumps regularly broke down. So we had until they were bringing water by truck, we had for 3-4 days, 200 people. No shower, no being able to flush the toilets. Yeah. Then you can see, the smell. We don't see it because we flush everything away, we wash everything away. We keep up the illusion of the body being clean. But your body is fantastic. Don't go into kind of, it's good to have a human body, to attain enlightenment. Okay, then he says, you know, if you want cleanliness, if you find you kind of take care of your body so it's clean, so why does the mind intent on filthiness neglect the fresh young lotus blossom opened in the sunlight of a cloudless sky to take joy rather than a sack of dirt? Why don't we just keep fresh flowers that are so pure and so beautiful? Why do we need these funny bodies there that are dirty and all this? If it's beauty what we want, why don't we lust after a freshly opened lotus flower? So Tenzin Zopa here says, we are superficially attracted to a person's beauty, giving rise to attachment without discovering the actual degenerating nature of the body. Instead of cultivating renunciation like a lotus blossom, freeing itself from the muddy pond, one continues to remain stuck in the filth of samsara. Right? So again, you know, there's nothing, it's not against love here. It's against attachment. Love is beautiful, wanting somebody else to be happy. I mean, you can have sex out of love. Oh, I'm so happy I have this attractive body, I'm giving it to my partner. That's okay. But how many of you think like this? I want to have pleasure, isn't it? We both want to have pleasure. Then it's very difficult when the other one doesn't have pleasure, though it makes it complicated. Because we're not always in the same situation at the same moment. Then we are complicated. Sexual life is complicated, I think. Is it not?
Yes.
Yeah. To have, you know, at the beginning, of course, but this is attachment. At the beginning, both of you can't be separated from each other. Both of you. But you get used to each other. And then it's not at the same moment anymore. That's the problem. And then to combine, you know, to kind of coordinate. Maybe do doodle, you know. Oh? Sorry. And since you are disinclined to touch a place or object grimed with excrement, why wish to touch the body whence such excrement has come? Yeah, well, I mean, there we can say, by not touching, the excrement goes down the toilet, but it's not. But the body is the machine for the excrement. And if you have no craving for impurity, why will you now embrace and kiss what comes from such an unclean place, engendered likewise from an unclean seed? That's 59. If I'm attached to what is unclean, why do I copulate with the lowest part of other bodies, which arise from the unclean field of a womb and are produced by seeds within? Yeah, maybe some of you have read, you know, the description of how a baby feels in the womb. I think it's also a bit exaggerated. Honestly, you know, that they smell the stench and I don't think so. But still, we can see the suffering of a baby that has to come out through this very small channel from a totally different place of wet, dark, soft, into this world where the first thing you get a slap on your bottom and you're being touched with. You can feel how babies are sensitive. So of course the cream that you put on your baby is not the same as yours. One tries to make the towels as soft as possible, but there's still, you know, a little bit something, there's a rash on the baby's body. I mean, I don't have babies, but I've seen it. The nappies, you know, the nappies that they're making now so that the water doesn't stay inside. The kids I was looking after, they had nappies I had to wash, you know, their bottoms were red all the time. Because the water didn't go in any kind of pouch or pocket with these Huggies or whatever they're called. Yeah? It's big suffering to be so sensitive. The fetid worms that live filth, you have no love for them, not even little ones, and yet you're lusting for a human form from filth, arisen and replete with it. Which has come from, if you have no wish for a small dirty maggot, yeah, so it's the maggot who is eating you've seen maggots I've seen it in a human body actually. There was one, some in Bulgaria, all of a sudden the shopkeeper said, Anila, come and see. So there was this beggar, like lying in the street and he had it covered with a blanket. So I said, yeah, he lifted the blanket, he had a wound that big, which was full of maggots. Because he was alone, he